Hello, Level Up community. It's me again, Pauline Andulan, and today we're going to cover several important topics related to incentive stock options or ISOs. Now, here's what we will walk through. First one is the introduction to ISOs. Second one is understanding strike price and the fair market value. Third one is the buying and holding ISOs when the strike price equals to fair market value. Next one is holding period requirements. Then selling ISOs when the fair market value is greater than the strike price. Then things to remember when buying and selling ISOs. Now let's start with a brief overview of incentive stock options or ISOs. So what are ISOs? ISOs are a type of employee stock option that offers favorable tax treatment. This can be a significant benefit, but it's important to understand the rules and requirements that apply. Now to understand our scenario better, we need to define two key terms, which is the strike price and the fair market value. So the strike price is the predetermined price at which you can purchase company stock under your ISO. So this price often set at the fair market value at the date the options are granted. On the other hand, the fair market value is the current market value of the company's stock. So these two figures are crucial because they determine the tax implications and potential profitability of your stock options. What happens when the strike price is equal to the fair market value? So essentially, this means that if you choose to exercise your options, you can buy the stock at its current market value. Now let's start with the client situation. So let's say, for example, the strike price or the exercise price of the ISO is $2 per share. Now the fair market value of the stock at the time of exercise is also $2 per share. So since the strike price and the fair market value are equal, the client doesn't experience any immediate gain or loss when they exercise their option. Here's an example to illustrate. Say for example, the client decides to exercise 25,000 shares. The total cost to exercise these options is 25,000 shares times 2 per share is equivalent to $50,000. Now let's talk about the tax implications. So at the time of exercise, because there's no difference between the strike price and the fair market value, there's no immediate tax due. The client won't owe any taxes just for exercising the options. And then the next one, on their tax return, there's nothing to report and no taxes are owed at this point. Now let's go to the holding period requirements. So holding your ISAs after purchasing them requires careful consideration. And to qualify for the favorable tax treatment ISAs offer, you need to meet certain holding period requirements. So 1 year from the date of exercise and 2 years from the date of option grant. If the stock values increases during this period, you can potentially benefit from lower capital gains tax rates. However, if the fair market value decreases, the stock may end up being worth less than your purchase price, which would result in a loss if you decide to sell. Now let's look at what happens when the client decides to sell their ISO shares for a gain after holding them for some time. So the scenario, the client originally exercised their options at the strike price of $2 per share. So the original strike price is $2 per share. And then after holding the shares, they decide to sell them when the fair market value has increased to $5 per share. This means that the client's gain per share is the difference between the selling price and the original strike price, which is $5 minus $2 equals to $3 per share. Now let's break this down with an example. So let's say the client sells 25,000 shares and the total gain from the sale is 25,000 shares times 3 per share equals to 75,000 total gain. Now let's discuss the tax implications. So on the sale, the client needs to report the gain on their tax return, specifically on Schedule D, which is used to report capital gains and losses. Now the type of gain will depend on the holding period. If the client held the shares for more than 1 year after exercise and 2 years from the grant date, it will be classified as a long-term capital gain and a tax at a lower rate. So if not, it will be a short-term capital gain and tax at the client's ordinary income tax rate. So before I wrap up my presentation, let me highlight some key things to remember when buying or exercising ISOs. So first thing to remember is when you exercise an ISO, you pay the strike price, which is the preset price, regardless of the current fair market value of the stock. Then the second one is no immediate tax impact occurs if the strike price equals to the fair market value at the time of exercise, which can be a significant benefit. So the next one is the cash requirements. So you need to have enough cash to cover the total exercise cost. So the amount you need is simply the strike price multiplied by the number of shares you're exercising. So for example, if you're exercising 1,000 shares at a $10 strike price, you need $10,000 in cash to complete the purchase. Third one is the record keeping. So it's crucial to keep detailed records of the exercise transaction, but this includes exercise date, number of shares, strike price, and the fair market value at exercise. So these details will help you track your cost basis and are essential for understanding the potential tax implications down the line. Then the last one, what to file on the upcoming tax return. So nothing to report if the strike price equals the fair market value at the time of exercise. So since there's no gain or income, there's no need to report anything related to the exercise on your tax return. So on the other hand, let's go over the key things to remember when selling ISOs. So first thing to remember is the holding period requirements. You must hold the stock for at least 1 year after exercising the ISO. You must also hold the stock for at least 2 years from the date the ISO was granted. Then the second one, we have two tax implications. The qualifying disposition in which if you met the holding period requirements, any gain from the sale will be taxed at the long-term capital gains rate, which is generally lower than the ordinary income tax rates. Then the second one, the disqualifying position, if you sell the shares before meeting the holding period requirements, then the gain may be taxed as ordinary income, which could result in a higher tax rate. Then the third one will be the reporting the sale. So when you sell the ISO shares, you need to report the sale on your tax return. And this is done using Schedule D, which is used to calculate your capital gains or losses. Then the next one is the AMT. So exercising ISOs may trigger AMT, especially if there's a significant difference between the fair market value at exercise and the strike price. And then the next one, keeping records. So it's important to keep detailed records of our transactions, including the exercise date, strike price, the fair market value at exercise, and the sales date and the sales price. And these records are crucial for accurately calculating your gains or losses and preparing your tax returns as well. And then the next one, tax strategies. So you need to consider using strategies like the qualified business tax, small business tax or the QSBS exclusions, or investing in opportunity zones to defer or reduce taxes on your gains. Then the last one, the estimated tax payments. So if your sale results in significant gains, you may need to make estimated tax payments to avoid underpayment penalties. So this is especially important. If your gains are substantial and could result in a large tax bill. Lastly, please remember, understanding the tax implications and planning your strategy are key to making the most out of your ISOs. So if you need further assistance with managing your ISOs or any other financial matters, Unified Global is here to help. Our team of experienced accountants and tax consultants can provide personalized advice and guidance to ensure that you're making informed decisions. That's all. Thank you. Bye-bye.